Awesome sauce. Okay, Amalia, Natalio, and Madeline Parker with you today for the Sagittarius new moon cosmic chat. And we have a surprise for any of you who are joining live. We're going to have a little celebratory something for you. We'll let you know why and we'll let you know when. But just hang with us live if you're here for about 40 minutes or so. And if you have to hop off and hop back, make sure you come back around that time frame and you will see why. And it is big, 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 big. Okay. And thanks to Madeline for pointing this out because I did not realize. So Madeline, you're awesome. Okay. So we have this Sagittarius new moon occurring, and this is always to me, it's like so funny when this happens across the day line, like timelines. So on the East Coast, this new moon is occurring at 1:21 a.m. on December the 1st. If you are on the West Coast, and obviously Mountain Time is going to be a little bit different as well as Central, but in the United States anyway. If you are on the West Coast or on Pacific Time, like Madeline is, her new moon experience will begin on November 30th at 10:21 p.m. So I always find this fascinating because I feel like the dates matter. And so when it comes to the experience that I may have, it may be different than somebody on the West Coast for all the astrological reasons, but also from a numerological standpoint. There's a completion sort of energy on the 30th, the end of the month, and the beginning completion, having it on the 1st at the beginning of the month. I could go down a rabbit hole of more numerological significances, but just something to consider. This new moon is occurring at 9 degrees, 32 minutes of Sagittarius. And the body gates for Sagittarius are the liver, the sacrum, the lumbar spine. The thighs are a big one. I think a lot of people, if you have any sense of the Sagittarian energy, the thighs, hips, your hip joints, your hip bones, they're very much connected to the Sagittarian energy. And obviously, it's also the element of fire. So when I think about Sagittarius and the archetype of the archer, I think of it as the vibe of when we're in this energy, we are really focused on a target. We're really focused on maybe learning something new, expanding our horizons. Maybe we are literally traveling to a far off destination, or we're learning about a far off destination or a different culture. And then we're taking that information and then we're really keeping our eye on a target. And before we actually we let go of that bow to let the arrow fly, we are pretty darn sure it's going to hit that target or close to it. So this is a time for us to be fired up about projects, to be really moving towards something bigger, setting those grand intentions that might be supportive, not just for us, but for the wider community. I really love that about this energy as well. As always, I'm going to touch in on the aspects of other planets to the moon. Madeline is going to do that, as well as our grand overview of what's happening in the cosmos, because there's a lot of planetary activity, as there is always, but right now it feels particularly potent. And a reminder too of some retrograding planets. So we've had a few planets move direct. However, Mercury at the time of this new moon is going to be retrograde. Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune will still be in retrograde motion, and so will the point of Chiron, the wounded healer. So just for everyone to have a general sense that we're still not moving completely forward in our in this astrological energy. There's still more reviewing going on. There's still more resetting, reactivating. That is important for everyone to remember. Okay. Now, diving into the aspects. As with every single new moon, we have the sun and the moon hanging out together, having a little party in the sign of Sagittarius. I kind of covered that already a little bit, that type of energy. Think about the sun as the outer, the moon as the inner. So we're really going to be doing a dance with those two parts of ourselves during the Sagittarius new moon. The moon is also trine Mars. Mars is in Leo. So what I love about Mars in Leo, Mars is a very fiery, let's go get them kind of a planet. And Leo is also very fiery and like bold. So this is a time for a feeling of confidence to start something new, which I love for this moon cycle. You can also think about this in terms of, we're closing out this Gregorian calendar year, and we're moving into a new one come January. I don't remember the exact date of the Capricorn new moon, but I believe it might actually be in December. So we're kind of like wrapping up this energy and then getting ready to move into another. So let's like really be feeling that sense of confidence that you're completing and moving forward to the next step, like up leveling in a way. Channel any emotions that come up towards heart-centered projects. Again, like I mentioned before, when you think about Sagittarius, you think about long distance travel or different cultures or learning something from a global perspective. Are there projects that you have near and dear to your heart that could be supportive of not just you and your immediate environment, but beyond you and your immediate environment? We also have a couple of, I wouldn't say hard aspects, but they might be on the more challenging side for us to experience. One is the moon square to Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, Sagittarius is that energy of seeking truth and wisdom. Aquarius has a lot to do with a higher wisdom, but it's a very intellectual type wisdom. So, clarity and truth coming from emotional experiences with that moon energy, and then having a sense of with that Aquarian energy of freedom, and then we have that energy of restriction with Saturn. It's finding what are the themes that are showing up in our lives that are in maybe tension with each other when it comes to Sagittarius and with freedom and restriction. And then the final note, and I'm just pulling up my notes here because the one little bit that I wrote about this has disappeared. So let me just see if I can pull it up here on my in my notes here. Hold on one sec. The final one is the moon and Jupiter opposing each other. And remember, Jupiter is also in retrograde. So this is potentially some older, some past experiences that we've had that we are reviewing. So there's a tension between the desire for exploration, which would be the moon in Sag, and the need for reevaluating or introspection, that's Jupiter in Gemini. So again, we've got a little bit of that like push and pull, that tension between these two energies. And there's also a potential for emotional conflict and this and maybe inner turmoil, while there's also a desire for adventure and feeling independent. So you can see where there might be in relationships, there might be a little bit of that push and pull. It could also relate to past decisions that were made that you're now revisiting or reexamining. So a little bit of the specific moon energetics that are going to affect our emotional world and how that interplays with our lives. And then Madeleine is going to jump into the overarching planetary themes that beyond just the moon that we have. And I can share the card for the flower for, you want me to do that
Sure.
now, Madeleine?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have the trumpet vine for the Sagittarius new moon. And to me, this is like, so it reminds me of Leo in a way, but it's also very bold. It's very expansive. I mean, look how much space this takes up. This is a flower that reminds us to use our voice, effortless speech. It's also another flower to me. When you look at this, it's that fiery kind of vibration. So we're using your voice for what? You're using your voice for expanding in some way, whether that's expanding your reach to people, whether that's expanding your horizons when it comes to communicating with other communities and people. Um, I don't know. This just to me just is such a bold flower that can really support us as we're navigating these potential changes and fluctuations that may happen as we go forward. This also reminds me a bit of Mars and Leo, that type of energy too, kind of like that push for us, complete those things, work on those things for that final bit of 2024 and really set yourself up for success for the upcoming year. Any thoughts on this, Madeline?
Well, yes, that hits the hammer right on the nail, as it were, because this is very much a new moon about truths coming out, things coming out like deep hidden truths, because I will explain when you're ready, but that resonates very strong with the theme of this new moon. So I find it very interesting.
Awesome.
I
All right.
tried to pull it first because I'm like, I want to know how this flower fits this message, and it was smack on.
Yay. I love when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I will let you go ahead and share all of the fun stuff you have coming up for us, Madeline.
All right. Yep. I'm just going to say that this is a new moon in Sagittarius, 9 degrees, whatever you said. Was it 9 exactly? What is the exact?
9 degrees, 32
32. Yep. 9
minutes. Yep.
exactly. And this is a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius. However, if you go to the sky, the Vedics look, when people talk about the fixed stars and the nakshatras and the lunar mansions, they think that's Vedic. It's not just Vedic. It's just where the sky is. And the Vedics look more at the sky than they do at, in Western, you set the astrology to the vernal equinox, to the 0 degree Aries point. So we set it to the season, which is absolutely accurate. It is as accurate, but I like to look at both because they're both true. It's the truth. So it's hitting at the part of the sky, which is Scorpio, but it also has this nakshatra that it represents is called Anuradha, which is very Sagittarius too. So they both kind of have a lot of resonance. But in Vedic, that's the Scorpio part of the sky, which means it's truth. Again, hidden deep truths coming out because Mercury is in on this. So I will share the screen. And this is a very interesting new moon, of course, as always, because of the fact that it's happening now. So we get these new moons every year. We're going to get a Sagittarius new moon every year, and we're going to get a Sagittarius full moon every year, and we're going to get one for all the 12 signs. But what matters is what's this cycle. Every time there's an initiation of a cycle, what of course is going on, what you talked about, the transits, is what characterizes this cycle, right? And these lunations are usually 6-month cycles. So this particular part of the sky represents relationships, friendships, co-collaborative type projects like co-partnerships or co-collaboratives, or you could call it soul contracts. Like that last full moon was sort of soul contract. We're there again. And again, with a Sagittarius new moon, we are looking at a beginning of a new thing that has a long-term reach or a long-term finality to it. In other words, these are long-term with Saturn in on this. It's long-term, right? Whatever happens during this new moon, we're going to get into it more deep, of course, is going to last a long time. This is setting us up for a stability towards the future. It's very much, we're really at a part in astrology where everyone's getting off the wrong paths and getting on the right paths, because we were all sort of guided. We were allowed to go ego. The universe allows us to be self-will, allows us to choose with ego, and allows us to run into the walls that our ego chooses without the wisdom of the universe behind the choice. So now because of this magic thing that's happening today, we are, shall we say, more in alignment with a soul contract, with the soul destiny, where we've learned to stop the ego controlling our destiny. We've let go. And now this new moon comes in. It's almost like a present, like a gift. And Saturn involved brings gifts, even though it brings hardships and challenges, and there may be blocks with that Saturn. I'm going to go into that in a minute, but I'm just going to give you an overall arching energy of this nakshatra, which is a very good nakshatra for friendships. I've got my notes here, and partnerships, So a lot of friends are coming together. This is very much a social full moon, a new moon. So and communication is a big part of that. Like contact people from the back. We've got Mercury retrograde. We've got Jupiter retrograde. People, projects, things that we've talked about from the past, or relationships from the past that are part of our future come back that we may have had ego separation from. This is a very spiritual sign, of course, Scorpio or Sagittarius, whichever part you want to look at. But Sagittarius, of course, is super like benefic for the whole, it's almost like these new beginnings are exciting, like you said, but it's, oh, I think the world needs this. I think I can be a part of this. I can be a part of fixing this problem in the world. I see a niche in the world that is needed to be filled. I can fill that, or I have the inspiration to do that. So,
Madeline, can I ask you a quick question?
sure.
So, okay, so you were talking about the nakshatra, and I know some people may be not knowing what we're talking about with that, and it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
We're just kind of pull away some of the layers of the energetics. And so when you describe this, it reminds me a lot of a combination of the seventh house and the 11th house from an energetic perspective. Would you say that that nakshatra holds that sort of vibe, or is there another nuance to it that maybe would be important for us to know?
You could, because the two houses that represent long-term goals are the ninth and the 11th. That's Jupiter and Aquarius, because the ninth house is Jupiter, Aquarius is, and we're going to talk about, I'm about to talk about the age of Aquarius, which is literally happening here in a few minutes. Ruled by Saturn. It's ruled by Saturn. So anyway, so yes, so this nakshatra is about inspired projects involving community, friends, or your divine partnership relationship. A lot of what's happening now because people have burned off all their karma that has put blockages in the way of our divine destiny, divine job, divine relationship, divine family. So just running through my notes really, really quick because
Madeline, what we're seeing is only the top part of your screen, by the way.
Okay, so I'll just stop the share there.
Okay.
Yeah, and because I'm studying the nakshatra, so I have to share what I learned. In summary, this nakshatra is intense emotion, determination, strong will, self-worth, emotion, adaptability, resilience. It's represented by that lotus flower, which is something that grows out of the dirt, out of the
mud.
Yeah, out of the mud and out of the pain, which is Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, which is now, as we know, is about to move into the sign of Aquarius and never to leave forever in our lifetimes. So this new moon is like the sprout of a new beginning in a restored faith about life, and a restored ambition, and a restored belief that we can do something in the long run that serves humanity. We can fix the problems on our planet or in our world, and that we have a prosperous future. So there's this faith about these new beginnings that involve most likely ideas and people from the past. So
interesting. Okay, love that. Thank you for that further.
So I just want to pull in those notes. Yep, adaptability. Remember, it's a mutable sign, so we're adapting. Okay, so now we're going to go into some of these planets that are very interesting. So we've got Jupiter in Gemini, and it is opposing opposing Mercury, right? Even though it's slightly off, but it's mutual reception, right? Because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter also rules Neptune, which is where Saturn is. And Mercury rules Gemini, which is where Jupiter is. So we've got this mutual reception. So basically, the theme here is pretty Jupiterian and about humanitarianism and about, as you said, improvement for the whole. However, we've got this opposition. So we've got this shred, shall we say, this flipping of a belief. What's going to happen at the same time? So information, truths come in, communication comes in, perhaps contact from somebody from your past that you've lost connection with, or maybe you're friends with, but they contact you again about a project they want to collaborate with or something. But people's minds are changing. People are seeing a truth. Now, remember, I talk about a cosmic universal truth that galvanizes us, that pulls us together. yes, we can all have our own individual beliefs about what spirituality is for us and how we want to practice spirituality and our own personal religions. We're in the age of Aquarius, we all individually design our own religions, personal. It can, like my religion is walking and talking to trees, or it can be the Bible, whatever you believe to be most helpful for you to connect with higher wisdom, right? So we're entering into the age of Aquarius where we're no longer divided by religious beliefs and we all galvanize with the same intention, which is to respect each other's personal decisions on how we access the higher realm and guidance. So with that having said, there's a commonality truth to all of that, which is Jupiterian, which is to improve life for mankind, to expand higher consciousness, higher, shall we say, like that Jupiterian higher consciousness is sort of like the higher truth that is true for all of us, which is about operating with a good intention will bring you good results, right? So there's this sort of lack of fear coming in, a sort of a purification of these fears that we've been operating under. So now we can go back and look at some of these projects. Now, when I say spiritual, Jupiterian missions or projects, it really is just whatever is your calling that is here to improve people, and most likely in a healing and spiritual way. Like you could just be a teacher for school children, but you decide you want to increase intuitive movement and flow in the classroom or something like that. Like we're bringing more of it. Now, here's the thing. You see, Saturn is in Pisces, which is even emphasizing this. And not only that, we have the outer planets pointing to Neptune. We've got, well, Pluto isn't right now, but Pluto will again soon. But we have this Uranian sextile to Neptune, which is saying if you seek spiritual progress in your life or in your purpose, you will be blessed. 100% you will experience abundance of prosperity because, and I'm really seeing this, anybody that's shifting their work a little bit more from the Jupiterian perspective, which means because the Jupiterian, the thing about Jupiter is it's here. It's not about now. It's not about what's happening now, because what's happening now is, but Jupiter saying, what can it be? What can this be, right? It's what can we take this? Where can we go with this, right? So it's about, and Uranus is about the future too. So it's sort of like, where in my life can I be a part of the way things are improving? Where can we as a collective in my relationships be a part of the projects that are going to bring us into the age of Aquarius, which is basically the new Earth, which is way higher vibrations, everybody working together to fix the world. I mean, things move very quickly in these energies in the Aquarian age. Improvements come in, technologies develop. So this is sort of like the out of the tunnel. We've been in this Capricorn hellhole. Pluto been there for like, since 2008, where we've all been through mostly cardinals, because it's squaring them, opposing them, have been through this Pluto transformative of hardcore fear-based ego stuff, right? Has been purified out of our psyche body now. And then we get this new moon, Scorpio and Vedic, completely about at the time where we have transformed. So we're no longer motivated from a security-based idea. We're motivated in faith because we survived Pluto in Capricorn. By the way, the fact that anybody survived Pluto in Capricorn shows there's a God or, somebody up there helping us out, right? Keeping us alive, keeping us fed. You can go through a Saturn transit and it looks like you don't work or you get any money, but you will have dinner, but you will not get dessert, but you'll have dinner. So Saturn will always take care. Even when Saturn blocks, it will always make sure you get what you need, right? So Saturn may block aspects of these new beginnings because it's a square. We're going to have we've got a square to Jupiter and Saturn coming up again. So there is patience needed because Sagittarius, the card in tarot for Sagittarius is the Temperance card, and the Saggies are the least patient people. That's why that card shows up. So with Saturn involved, there's patience, but this is a new plant that's going to turn into a mighty oak. That's Jupiter. Jupiter is represented by the oak tree. It's the big mighty oak. It's Thor, the thunder god. So it's like has a lot of power. This is a very powerful new moon because it's got a lot of push behind these. When you have Sagittarius in the story, there's a lot of there's a jet propulsion energy. It involves Jupiter, you know, and with the retrograde with these planets, I would say that they're more about, well, Mercury retrograde causes blocks, mishaps, faux pas when you speak, and also truths coming out, a lot of truths coming out, right? In these energies, it's very, very honest. Sagittarius is the most honest sign. Jupiter's in Gemini, talky. Mercury's in Sagittarius, really chatty energies. So it's like things spill out, things slip out, people talk too much. It's a little bit like, yeah, you know, if you can hold in and think really carefully before you speak right now, that's important. But if truths spill out, that's the way it's supposed to be. And we're entering into literally a lot of people feel the void right now that we're about to enter this new era. People don't even know where their lives are going right now. It seems really like what's happening, nothing seems to be happening. It's all really, well, we're in that in between of these two major eras. So this new moon is like the initiation happening. It's the first lunation in the age of Aquarius. And it's in the sign of Sagittarius. And it has Venus, by the way, is making a really positive aspect to Uranus, and Venus is in the sign of Capricorn, which is the sign of Saturn. Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces, which Saturn is in. So there's a lineup with relationships and financial projects that this new moon, whatever we initiate on this new moon, financially liberates us, is putting us with the right relationships, the right people, because Anuradha is the nakshatra, which is just the lunar mansion of the sky. That's all it is. It's a shape. It's about the stars in certain parts, which represents friendships, collaboration, victory, pulling together, sprouting something out of nothing, out of the turmoil of that Capricorn pain that we've burned off. We now have this rebirth. This is the rebirth, you know, the new beginning of the new. We're all really new. You know, we're really like fresh, you know, we're rebirth. We're babies now. We're the baby. We're like babies again, you know. And then here's another interesting aspect is that we have Mars making a positive aspect to the nodes, which you mentioned, but Mars in Leo is passionate, fire, energy, go get it, bold, like that card, like, you know, that's why you got to be careful in these energies, because you could get really ahead of yourself and really go, whoa, and just like, oh, that wasn't what I meant. Or, you know, that's a lot of fire energy. And by the way, the secret to work with fire is to not push, to not go. In Sagittarius, just let the inspiration do all the work. You don't want to go, you just let the inspiration push you. And otherwise you can it blocks. It's a blocking energy when Sagittarians try too hard or try to create fire. It's like, you don't have to, you've already got enough fire in your system. Just chill.
Yes.
Pull the horsey back, you know, a little bit, because that's how you create propulsion. So this Mars is ruling. Again, we've got Mars ruling Aries. Mars is ruling the nodes. So this is a fabulous time. I mean, I'm going to talk about this other thing in a minute, but these aspects are showing a brave, excited, bold, come together, let's do this. We're here for this. You know, I'm not afraid anymore. Pulling out of the rubble of our past, you know, and building with it, building what we've learned, making a new future with it. And again, you know, some people think we're all cleared with karma. Some people think this new earth is everybody has cleared karma. That or very little karma. And actually, everyone may note, and you may notice this, that every time you do something or you accidentally fall into something that would maybe cause a little bit of karma, it falls right in your face, like, whoa, instant karma, like slap in the face, like don't do that. Like you've learned your lesson. Don't boom, boom. Like people that I'm reading for that may still have some sort of karmic attachments to people. They're just bam. It's like, no, it's time to really trust and step into the Jupiterian message, which is to fearlessly move society to a better future, to lead, to guide, like you were saying, that arrow point thing. But again, so Leo is the leader. All fire signs are leaders. We've got this trine to the north nodes, which is like step into your sovereignty, Leo, your kingdom,
Mhm.
and serve your kingdom, and have faith, because Aries is the bold energy, and the nodes are there, which is about stick your neck out, be competitive. This is not the time to sit in a little room and hermit. And so it's like, pull your tribe together. Let's go as a group. We've got a vision. The visions should, people who get downloaded, who have psychic abilities, could get a lot of visions right now. Jupiter is a visionary. It sends you visions for the future, which is we couldn't perceive. Jupiter is outside our head. We're limited, right? We can't imagine this future. It's beyond, but the higher realm sees it. It's already there, actually, the higher realm. So they're going to drop the vision down. Then you have the vision. Then you reach for that vision because you have clarity. So the Jupiter Mercury opposition and this mutual reception is basically situations from the past where there was conflict, disagreement, separation of belief, ego, people being in their egos, not believing in something and not trusting the cosmic order a little bit, and saying, no, I'm going to control the situation and not let the flow of how this is really moving, let that happen. I'm going to go this way. Well, Saturn squaring this new moon is like, no, you're going this way. This was the plan, and then and then guess what? You get really inspired, because the way that we are supposed to go is actually the more inspired. We're more alive. That's how you just want to jump out of your chair. You don't want to sleep in. You just want to get up and do it. That's when you know you're in alignment, because I teach people to sit on a couch when they don't know what to do. I can usually see in their chart, but you got to connect with it. You got to connect with that fire, right? And I said, don't do anything. You're not allowed to do the dishes. You're not allowed to do the laundry. Can't get on the phone, nothing, right? And then see what pulls you out of that chair. See what it is that you want to do. That's not what you need to do. But if you had nothing you have to do, what would you choose to do? Well, that's how I discovered I loved astrology, because when I did that thing, I wanted to get up and see where the transits. That's what I wanted to do. So that thing that pulls you out of your chair that you want to do, that's your thing. So we're supposed to line up with the fire. That's Jupiter, all about the fire. This is a Saturn ruled nakshatra, not to confuse anyone, but that indicates this is long-term new beginnings that are, and that's why we've got a Saturn block, because if this is a new beginning that you're not aligning quite right with, or you're starting it slightly on the wrong foot, Saturn's going to course correct. But other than that, this whole new moon is incredible. It's in individual cases, depending on your chart, there could be crisis involving relationships. This is a relationship nakshatra. If you're in a relationship that by now, if you're in the wrong relationship, my opinion is probably on its very last legs, with the south node here in Libra on the star of the harlequin. So it's like a lot of Libras, everybody really, and you may notice this, and you may notice this around men, that there's a general overall drop in lust energies, porno, sex, because that's where the south node is. The south node is on a part of the sky that's releasing lust-based choices, or and again, this is a metaphor. So it could be your work that you do, that you're just doing a job because it's money, but you're not happy. Or you're in a relationship with someone because it's simple and it's easy and you're there and it's convenient and the money's okay and you don't want to shake it up, but you're not in love anymore. So that would be a release, so that's a metaphor. So this is a crazy time. I mean, we're really literally just dropping our past and just dropping things that just don't work, and that were karmically in our lives because we thought that they were going to be what we wanted. But again, It's the calling aligning with the right relationships and with the destiny that, because how you know what you were here for is to look to study your Jupiter. So here we are stepping into our Jupiter callings, co-collaboratives, putting in that hard work because it's Saturn. We got a Saturn square, got to put in some good hard work. But you know what? Nobody minds hard work when it's what you love. The passion. This is a passionate thing, so it gets you over the struggle of the hard work. You don't even feel it as much. But the big thing that is happening, is it happening yet? No, not yet.
No, another minute or two.
Okay, we're going to go to the now clock. So this is a big thing because this new moon is hitting right here as we are about to go. Oh, it's in 10 minutes. So Pluto right now is about to change into the sign of Aquarius. We are now leaving the age of Piscean. Well, actually, technically, Piscean era leaves when Neptune goes into Aries, which happens in May. Okay. But officially, it's kind of like these energies, but now we're really on this side of the age of Aquarius. There's a little bit of the other stuff there. So literally today, in about 10 minutes, we are literally starting the age of Aquarius. So what you do in astrology, how you know the cycle. So this is a new cycle of about 19, 18 years, or I have to look at that, but it depends on how many retrogradations there are during that cycle. But during this next Pluto cycle is going to be fantastic. I mean, the transits here. So in this minute that we're going to see right here with anyone who's watching to witness, this is the sign of the prosperity that's ahead for us. And I'm going to just go ahead here and go ahead an hour. There we go. 0 degrees, 0, 0, right there. Brand new era right now, like insane. And oh, there goes my alarm. Oh my God.
All right. You want to stop sharing the screen for a sec, Madeline?
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
All right. So everyone, we are now in the Aquarian age. Let's get up and do a little dance. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah. Yeah. Woo, woo, woo.
You've got cute shorts on.
Thanks. All right. We hope everyone got up and danced with us.
Celebration, everybody.
The more people dancing and in like that fun energy, the better.
Well, that is the energy of this new moon because it's about socializing, it's about people celebrating, pulling together. I mean, great times, everybody. Hallelujah.
Oh, here we go. We have some people. Some people are on. They were with us.
Yay! Who's that?
So let's see. We have Snezana, who is tuning in from Austria. She's a Sagittarius.
Yay! Celebration.
We have Jessica is here. Barb and Dan are in the house. Woo, 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 woo. Diane also, she just said she just got the body chill. So yeah, I'm so happy that all these folks are celebrating with us. So fun. So fun.
All right. Yay.
Big time excitement.
Because I'll tell you guys, this is amazing. I'm so glad I got to be with you all when this moment happens. Like totally. Here we go now. Look at now. Boom. Now 0 degrees, literally officially. Like, all right.
Yeah. So okay. So I wanted to share something that came through a bit ago. While you were talking, I want to share the impact chart because I always love that. I feel like it's really helpful for people to see. So let me share that first, and then I want to share this like little message that came through while you were giving your beautiful download of information for all of us. So just so folks know, any points or planets that you have between 4 and 14 degrees of the signs of Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, that's it, Virgo. You all will be feeling this moon energy intensely. So just keep that in mind. If you have any, like I said, any points or planets at 4 to 14 degrees of any of those signs, Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo. there will be some big changes or impacts that you notice, that you'll notice it, you'll feel it in your life. Okay.
Yeah, very much so, because it's squares. So that could be that's a bit more challenging perhaps, but there could, with those squares, the mutables, things change, changing of mind, changing of jobs, ending something. But actually I think it's ending something in order to begin something. So,
Yeah, exactly. It
yeah.
may feel a little uncomfortable, but you probably already have a sense of what is beginning to shift. And now it just gives you that kind of that push, that
I'm going
nudge,
to use
that
me as an example. I stopped teaching my workshops all summer. As soon as Saturn went into retrograde in my ninth house, I took time off from teaching because I really wanted to evaluate what it was I wanted to teach and what it was that I could offer individually, that was what I really could offer, right? And so during that time, now literally a Saturn went direct, I had like 5 or 6 people asking me to teach, and like just it, and people wanted me to do group teachings at certain events, and I was just like, wow, like crazy. So now
just opened
it's,
up.
yeah, but I know exactly what it is. I want to do the teaching. I want to teach the course of the hero's journey, which is the nakshatras, and it is also the tarot card. It's the major arcanas, and I taught it before retrograde, and now I'm going back to doing that because that's the one that really covers everything. It covers astrology, tarot,
Mhm.
and the ancient wisdom of how to manifest, from the unmanifest to the manifest, right? So I'm suddenly like got my teeth into this. I'm ready. I've got to send people like my class, how I'm going to summarize these classes, the structure and everything. And it's like I have the clarity because Saturn's direct now. So that's an example. It's in my ninth house of teaching, Saturn. There you
So this just I kept hearing over and over again in my head
go.
was, would be a great question for everyone who watches this and is aware of what's happening to ask themselves. How good can it get? How good can
Okay.
it get?
Yeah.
Because I feel like because of this, particularly because of this shift of Pluto into Aquarius, it's like really expanding have uh, what we've allowed for ourselves. We've been very Capricornian in that way. So how good can it get? And the other little piece I wanted to share too was when you were talking about this energy of people receiving visions and for those who feel like I don't get visions, I don't get
Mhm.
downloads, none of that makes sense to me. I don't really know what that is. I know there's some people that need to hear this. Your dreams
Mhm.
are also visions
Yep.
and messages for you. Daydreams. How many of you have been, driving down the road or washing dishes or in the shower and your mind wanders somewhere else? I don't know how many, I mean, for me, I've done that. It's actually kind of freaky when you're driving and you're like, I don't remember the past 3 miles that I just drove. Like, I have no idea. You're totally just not there. And during that time, you might get visions or you might get some, like what you might consider a daydream. Trust that daydream. Trust whatever comes through. Pay attention to those things. Write them down. Make a voice note. Really pay attention because you're going to receive information that you need in unexpected and unorthodox ways. So just play with it. Just trust it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's really important that is in the way of visions and downloads and psychic connection is being too busy, because you have to be still. It speaks to you very silently. It's very
Yeah,
quiet. It's
very
a
quiet.
whisper. So you have to be quiet. You have to stop being so busy. That's why it happens to people when they're driving, because they're so you have to kind of slow down to get these. That's why Pisces get most of the downloads in the psychic, because Pisces are the least active of the signs. So they're the most connected to this. They get downloads, more downloads. The more they sleep, the more they connect. So, yep.
Super fun. Well, I'm so glad that all of you were with us for that.
Yes,
You,
celebration.
if you're catching this on the replay, still get up. I hope you get up and dance. And if you
Yes,
didn't, it's not too late.
because Aquarius is the time is people coming together. So you want to. I'm so glad that we got to celebrate this minute with our friends.
Yeah, me too. So exciting. Some of my favorite people
Yeah.
on the call today
Thanks,
or
Dan,
watching us
Bob,
today.
everybody for
Yeah, let me go
joining
back.
the party.
I'm toggling back and forth here.
Any questions?
Oh, Dan said, "Nice shorts, Mustang Sally." Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
What about
Um,
my boards, Dan? Would you like my pants? No, just
maybe I'm sure he does. He
Okay.
does. And Snezana said beautifully said. So
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
All right.
Well, so since we have digressed for a while on this, we're gonna dive into the signs, obviously starting with Aries. Madeline, don't forget the card.
I know you're
And
my contraption that I have set up here.
yeah, we're trying to find, or Madeline's trying to
Yes.
find a way to share what it is, what sign
I'm
it is.
very, is this the reverse or does that
No,
seem
it's correct. It's
okay?
right. Yeah.
There we go, guys. I finally figured it out. Freeze.
Trial and error, baby.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep it like that. There we go. All right. So Aries, let me get the chart out here for Aries. One sec, guys. We are at Aquarius. So let me just get to Aries. Okay,
So I'd
Aries.
be curious for those watching, is the card in the corner distracting to you all, or does
Yeah.
it feel okay? I'm wondering how it's fine
I'm
for me.
going
I
to
just want to
make it
see where,
smaller. Here, why don't I push it back and make it a little smaller? There, that's better.
let's see. Hang on. I just popped back over to YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Better, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see what folks think. Is that cool? Putting it back a little
My
bit.
shoulder. Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's it. And you can still see it.
Our alarm comes out. Okay, so let's go to okay. Aries. Okay, so Sagittarius is in your ninth house of travel. Don't forget that this is also a travel. Even in the Vedic star thing, it says travel. So it's friendships, travel, great. It's all good. It's like exciting. I can't wait. Okay, so for Aries, ninth house of travel, well, that's where this full moon, this new moon is going to be in your ninth house. Now you've got Mercury there. You have Jupiter in your third house. I mean, talk about that axis. It is literally the Jupiter Gemini axis, right? Literally, like the ninth house is Jupiter, third house Gemini. So it's like, wow, what a flip, what a paradigm flip, you know, from the past, projects from the past, total spiritual awakening, shift of your perception around spirituality, almost in a Aries are interesting people because they're not woo woo, the opposite, because you know Aries is opposite of Pisces pretty much. If you cut the zodiac wheel in half and you lift it up, Aries is down here in the third red chakra at the base, and Pisces is his highest dimension. Aquarius is right there, 11th is again 5-dimensional. That's Aquarius, the higher dimensions. So Pisces, so there's that. Aries is the bottom. So now Aries is being all, you know, very matrixy, very in the dirt, very impractical, very kind of energy of Aries now goes, whoa, you know, maybe there's something fun and tongue in cheek about spirituality, or about like, all right, let's do the spiritual thing, but let's make fun of it at the same time, kind of energy, but let's do it. But the Aries are never going to be like really into it, but they're going to be like, okay, well, let's do it for the adventure. Let's explore this. So there's this feeling of exploration, of new ideas, of a new perception, of like more of an exploratory, more of the most Aries have had their egos crunched a little bit in these energies because of Pluto, which is good for you and good for everybody. All our egos need to be pared down a little bit. If I'm hitting the Aries card. So now we're getting into this. All right, well, everything else that I believed isn't really whatever. It's like, whatever, I don't really care. Okay, well, let's try it. You know, that kind of an energy. And then some sort of communication or truths come in from people from your past that are in alignment with your destiny. But really, we're looking at a new beginning in a person. And now, again, travel is in this. See, the ninth house in Jupiter represents expanding, going where we haven't been, seeing around that corner, learning something, discovery, the wanderer, you know. So it's almost like the Aries are opening up. I want to know more. My opinion has completely changed. I want to travel. I want to explore. I want a new beginning where I'm liberated, where I'm free to explore philosophy. You know, there's this zest for the truth. And so, yeah, Uranus is in your second house. By the way, for Aries, that is going to bring you a very abundant, liberating money, because the attitude of the Aries with spirituality is a great mix. it's just great because that is the spirit that we want for spirituality, which is not restricted, not in a straitjacket like religions make you do, but it's like, okay, well, what is it? You know, kind of vibe and exploration. And you find a truth. They're going to find a truth. Let me see anything else. Saturn in your 12th house going forward. You've cleared karma, but again, travel. That is travel. There's a huge liberation because you've had Pluto transiting out of your 10th house. Wow. That's like your career now. You've shifted in an ego control about your career, and you're now opening up to the universe's idea for your career. It's almost like the Aries said, "Oh, excuse my language, but fuck it. Things are not working in my career." It's with Pluto there. It's like the ego, boom, crunch, and now they're like, "Well, okay, then what is it that you want me to do?" You know, everything else seems to have, been a problem. What now? And then you're like, "Okay, universe, you show me." And you're like, "Oh, wow, yeah. This is exciting. Let's do it." Something more that is in alignment with what really inspires you. But it would have gone against your ego because Aries is all about their head. They're rams. They're like, yeah, my head is right. Yeah, they're strong-willed. There you go.
All right. Well, for Aries, we've got a
Oh,
fiery card here for them. The chandelier succulent activates momentum. The message is finish what you start. One of the key words for this also was in the flower for the trumpet vine flower that is Sag, the Sag flower for this new moon. This was effortless speech. This is effortless energy. So feeling effortless in the moving forward of something you're working on or a project. Again, I feel like it's also connected to Mars, which rules Aries. There's a lot of like push, a lot of, you were talking about like not pushing the energy, allow the energy to push you, allow it to take you along versus you pushing against it.
right.
This also has the energy of teamwork, which is just what you were talking about with this
Well, go
nakshatra.
figure.
So very aligned, very aligned.
Well, the other thing I want to say for Aries is you have the north. See, they got so much going on in their house, in their Aries house. Because again, we're doing this for Sun, Moon, Rising, of course. But if you're Rising Aries, this is in your 10th house. But if Aries Sun, you've got the nodes in your Sun, whatever house that's in. So it's like Aries are really like it's time for the Aries energy to really go. Like it's go time.
Yeah, let's move it.
Because the nodes are about to leave Aries here in December. And
Big
then it goes to
changes.
Pisces. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
big
it's
changes.
just this last little fired up, like, yeah, let's go, Aries. But everybody, because everybody's got the nodes in their Aries part of their chart.
We're all going to feel it.
Yeah, I've got the Aries in my 10th house. So I've been very like, in my work, because I'm really into it more than ever. Usually
Hey.
with the nodes, when your nodes are in your 10th house, you're into your work. Like you go for it. All right.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that, but that's true. Yeah, where are mine? Mine are in my
Where's Aries in your chart?
sixth. So that and my
Oh,
day to day has been very, very apparent.
hmm.
Health things, wellness, that sort of thing also.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you ready for Taurus?
I am ready for
Getting
Taurus.
this card, the card situated.
Aren't I smart? No, I'm just kidding.
You are smart.
This is what I use for my readings. I put my phone there sometimes if I'm not using my laptop. So now I'm like, I could use it for this. Okay, great.
Oh, wow. I love that. When you have an item that's kind of seemingly like a singular focused item, like I can only use it for this thing, and then you realize it can be used for other things. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
It takes
Cool.
up so much with I'm a minimalist, so everything I own, I want it to have 10 functions to it.
Yes.
Okay,
All right,
Taurus.
Taurus.
Taurus. Okie dokie, Aries in your 8th house. Sagittarius in your 8th house. So joint resources, pulling your money together with someone. Sagittarius is a travel energy, or let's say if you're, let me just pull the whole chart up here. I would say that, and Venus, and wow, Pluto is leaving your 9th house. Wow, talk about a whole paradigm mental. I would say that Taurans have had sort of fixed perceptions about things, about the way things are supposed to be, or about beliefs, or maybe even about travel, like they really want to travel. Now they're maybe not so into travel as much, or they've got a whole new liberated way of seeing the world. It's almost like they've opened up their minds to seeing that other religions, other perceptions are valid, less rigid minded, less stuck about something, more open minded. And with that new moon in the eighth house, it's almost like a new beginning, that you collaborate your finances, or let's say you get a loan, or you get a loan to start something, or you could buy a property on that energy, or bring your resources together with someone, your person, or you get a loan or a debt or something that's going to basically enable you to take on some kind of, again, it's a project. Now you'd have to look at your whole chart. What are you going to do with this money? But there's something about money coming in, a new beginning of something to do with your money. That could be it too. Or like an investment, a new investment. You decide to invest in something. Now this is a good energy for investment. And when you have a new moon in your eighth house, it's going to work out. Or you collaborate with a group of friends and you co-invest in a property that you're all going to rent out as Airbnb. But there's some sort of collaborative financial, or just with your significant other that you pull together. Now, if other things are going in your chart, this could be a divorce, a separating of that. And then you're newly on your own, doing your own finances, pulling your own finances together. But this is a money house. Also, it again, we were looking at these fears. The eighth house usually triggers some fears around money. So maybe you discover that there was a debt or a tax bill came in. So you have to shift around and find a way to pay it. But whatever happens that you do, and to shift around to do this opens things up for you, perhaps so you can travel. This could be that you realign your finances so you don't have to work. And then you start a project with your spouse, freeing you up, you're freed up. And so you then decide to travel, or take on some sort of adventure. A Sagittarius is adventure, new adventure. So it's almost like Taurans are sort of ready to shake it up with that Uranus in their first house, liberating you. And the Venus is making a really positive aspect to that Uranus, and Venus is your ruling planet. So it's like you're definitely ready for a breakthrough, to be free, to be like less heavy about stuff. Because Taurans want that security. They're fixed. They don't like change. And with Uranus there, it's been really making them insecure or unstable or feeling unsettled. But now they find this new beginning that can stabilize them, or they're completely fine now. They've accepted that life isn't so fixed and they're okay. They've embraced it, these changes. But this new moon for them in the eighth house is very financially blessed and involving, because you're ruled by Venus, and Venus is in that Saturn sign. So this is some sort of very long-term, collaborative financial venture, either investments or co-investing with something with your spouse, but also a zero fear aspect to it, which means you've got this bravery. So yeah.
All right. Well, the society garlic flower is taking this in a slightly different direction with the eighth house, just a bit. And it, you said, and also it relates to the hidden things that might be hidden, those shadowy parts of us, the occult, that sort of a thing. And the society garlic dissolves any fear of attack, where we might feel like there's some unsavory forces that are at play with us. And it also cleanses any destructive patterns that we might have. The eighth house also can have a connection to addictions, things like that, things that are not necessarily really beneficial for us. So the society garlic helps support us as we're moving through that energetic as well. So interesting how this totally pulled that part of the eighth house out. for us.
Yes, that. Thanks for reminding me of that because you're going to have Mercury and Jupiter in your eighth and second house. So some financing, some truths about money involving your spouse could come up that trigger you, or like they didn't tell you, they racked up a big debt somewhere that could show
Yeah, something hidden that might come to light.
that
So
communication, and it could be triggering because that's a trigger. That is a fear and triggering house. But you know what? You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
exactly, moving through it. So, all right, Gemini.
All right, Gemini, that is the inner dead. You're going to have Jupiter in your first house. So, Gemini, when you have Jupiter in your first house,
Natalie, sorry to interrupt you. Change, you want to switch the card?
thank you. You
You're
see,
welcome.
that's why it was a real problem last time. I didn't put the cards up. Okay, Gemini, put Taurus over there, Gemini. I wonder if it's better this way, the other side, Gemini. All right, so Gemini.
Mix it up and see.
Yeah. So Gemini I'll do it back and forth. That'll help me find it. So Gemini, you've got Jupiter in your first house. When Jupiter is in your first house, one, you can gain a lot of weight. Your body physically can gain weight. And this is more for Gemini rising than Gemini sun. But if Gemini sun, you expand knowledge. You're very expanded in who you are. You become louder and bigger in your personality. But also it's a time for initiating, and it's in retrograde, so it's reinitiating something from the past that is your true calling. And it's in your first house. So this is like, let me look at this again. You've got Mercury in your seventh, communication from a partner, a past relationship coming in, communication coming in, and truths being revealed, right? Because we're stepping into our new era where we're going to be lined up. A lot of twin flames are going to come together. A lot of divine partnerships are coming together. So maybe if you've been in separation, a truth comes out, you get communication from somebody from your past, and you resolve some sort of conflict, and a flower, lotus, blooms out of the pain of this past relationship, and you go into co-collaborative together. Now, if you're already in a relationship, some truths come out. There could be conflict. There could be shift in beliefs. If you're in the right relationship, it will stay. If not, it may dissolve at this point. But if it's in the right relationship, you then line up. You haven't been communicating to each other. You're upset at each other. There's the truths you haven't been communicating. They come out now. You find an agreement. You find a way to find the balanced center between these two polarities. Maybe one person in the relationship believed this and the other person believed that, and it was causing conflict. Well, now maybe you find a way to agree that you kind of agree in a weird way, and so you're able to really co-collaborate, because you can't, and that's what I'm teaching in this Tree of Life course. The sixth path is the path of the Lover's card, which is the Gemini card. And that is the lesson of learning how to harmonize with other people. So the Gemini have to harmonize. They have to align. We have to harmonize with people that don't necessarily believe what we believe or agree. But how do you harmonize with that? How do you go forward, and with these energies, you're going to do better when you go with, let me explore your view. Let me explore that belief. The energy of Sagittarius is always to explore and keep an open mind about it. So we're going to sort of put down our rigid thinking around things, which is Sagittarius, and we're going to open up our minds to the other person's ideas. And these truths are coming out. So a truth could come out that makes you in the relationship, or a truth comes out that puts you in the relationship. Let me see what's happening. Mercury is your ruling planet in your seventh house, opposing Jupiter in your first. I mean, talk about, you may even have a whole new belief about relationships and love. You may suddenly realize what love is, and you can even be in your true love relationships and then realize in your head, you're always thinking, because Geminis are hard to commit. And in their heads are like, well, I don't know. 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 One leg in, one leg out. Well, now they suddenly realize, wow, this is true love. I could do that my whole life, one leg in, one leg out. Or I could say, well, actually, no, the love is there no matter whether I put my head in it or not. So the love is actually really the truth. The heart is going to be the truth. So Gemini goes, wow, it wasn't what I thought this, that, did that. It's like, this is non-mutable, right? Geminis are mutable. So, and Sagittarius is mutable. So there's this, what's real? What's my true heart? What's love? What's love? What's a relationship? What's this? I don't think I agree with that person politically. I can't be in a relationship with someone who politically disagrees with me. And then you find out, wow, I actually shifted my political views. I kind of agree with them. I know why. Wow, it wasn't our political differences that was a problem, or that I thought was holding us apart, that was just my mind. Really, I love and I don't care. Like there's this heart breakthrough for Gemini.
I
First,
love that.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, was there something else you were going to
Well,
say?
just that first and seventh, it's like me and the other person. So it's like finding out how to harmonize and how to harmonize your perceptions with somebody else, and realizing that what really holds you together isn't what you either one of you believes or thinks. It's the fact that it's love. That's the glue.
I love the example that you gave about, politics has been a big thing here in the US
Mm,
the past while, but
yeah.
particularly at the beginning of the month around the election. And I love what you were saying about how people may have shifted their viewpoint, really digging in their heels with this is how
Yeah.
it is, and then maybe over time have shifted, and if they exited a relationship because of that and cited that as their main
Yeah.
reason, there might be a shift in, oh wow, okay,
Right. And if they went through
expanding.
separation and fought about it and stuff, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, so we have it's I do not like this time change because I have to turn on all these lights and it puts a
Oh
glare in the
yeah, it is
cards.
kind of darker for you.
Um, so we have the bee balm for Gemini, and the bee balm activates hope. The message is be still. And I want to connect that to what Madeline and I were talking about earlier about listening to the whispers, about she was specifically talking about sitting on the couch and just waiting.
Yep.
When I was talking about driving or, taking a shower or whatever, there's things where we're not like go, 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 where we're really still. That's when some information may come through for you that connects to a relationship, or some information that you might need about how you truly feel about a relationship. It also is a reminder to, or a support to adjusting to any transitions. So you might have a relationship transition, and Bee Balm is a really great support when it comes to helping you through that transition and bringing in that natural balance. Thinking about relationships, we want to have a nice balance within them going forward. So I just love the bee balm for
Yeah.
this energy of relationships.
Yeah, because purple is Jupiter and the white is air, which is communication. So it's like communicating a belief, a truth, a new vision, a new clarity, belief, because
Yeah.
it's just gone direct. So a lot of clarity coming in. And don't forget, Saturn is in Jupiter's sign.
Goodness gracious. Lots of
Clarity
good.
of our calling, clarity of our purpose. Woo! This is my sign. Yoo-hoo!
All right, Cancer.
And Jessica's sign out there. She's still with us. Hi,
Let's see.
Jessica.
I don't know. Maybe she is.
Hello, Cancerians.
So yeah, I don't know if Jessica is still with us.
Okay.
So Jessica, if
All
you
right.
are, listen up. This is for you
Yep.
and any other Cancerians out there.
Yeah. Okay. Cancer, Cancer rising, Cancer moon, sun. We are going to have all of this. Well, Saturn is moving direct in your ninth house of spirituality. So most cancers, they're most usually healers of some sort, psychics, and some sort of mission that you're doing in a healing in or psychology, any kind of that kind of a field for cancers. Are really, things are going forward very strong, a lot of clarity on how you are going to individuate in your field. And then wow, Venus is in your seventh house, indicating that that's partnerships, perhaps your spouse and you are going to collaborate in something here. But basically Sagittarius is in your sixth house. So these are all sort of healing, as a healing house, right? That's like a medicine house of high service. So I would say for Cancer rising, you have established yourself in some way in the field of spirituality, or that ninth house Jupiter stuff, which is to expand humanity for the highest good, which is going to be spiritual, because we're entering into more spiritual times and we're coming back into balance. We're not being so material. This is like material era, and now we're coming more into the balance. That doesn't mean we'll go super spiritual, but we're balanced. We're to yin and yang balance, right? So and to balance, we have to open up more to spirituality. That's why the chart's saying that. So so somehow cancers are stepping forward to be sort of leaders here in spirituality and healing, lifting the vibrations of people, because that ninth house, that's what the ninth house is all about, is to raise the frequency of the energies. So that's what healing is about. And so cancers are really in a strong position here for collaboration, because they've had Pluto in their seventh house. So they're no longer motivated by fear attachment based to their relationships. And instead they're able to make the right decisions, not from a needy place, but from what's aligned, what is in alignment for the relationship, what is God or the universe or the unseen magical force, how is it working in our relationships. In general, we're all working more with the unseen forces, the universal will, and asking, is this the right direct, is this what's in alignment? And so for cancers, collaboratives involving your partners, new beginnings involving it could be travel, teaching. You could start a new course. We did travel, philosophy, but also it is later in life partners. If you're single cancers, you could come into union with your true person, because the ninth house is later in life partner. And then the seventh house is marriage partnership, and Venus is there. But the sixth house new moon, now that can sometimes trigger problems. The sixth house, an illness or something can show up. Health would be on a priority list for Cancer right now, to really watch things, to be extra. But everybody needs to do that, because we've got this Jupiter Saturn coming up in May and April, which I'm telling everybody to boost your immunities. This isn't like every 30 years we do have a pandemic, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's terrible and bad and going to kill everybody. That's not what it means. But the flu that happened in 1918 was Jupiter, it was Saturn, Neptune. When I do readings for people's charts and I see Saturn, Neptune, they're going through health scares and stuff like that. So what we want to look at here is for everyone to boost your immunities and really, really walk healthy. And with that sixth house new moon, some sort of new habit, new beginning, that's very healthy, that's long-term, going to bring you a really positive health stability. But again, this new moon is more about collaborating. Sixth house service, a house of service, collaborating with your true tribe. By the way, this is true tribage, because the Uranian energy there is about your tribe. So it's like finding your people that you're going to be of service with, that are supportive, and then you're going to be busy on this for a long time. It's day to day. These are new beginnings that are going to last a long time. So your whole life's routine changes on a sixth house new moon. You have this new routine. Let me look at the planets one more time. Your career is going great for Cancers right now, with that nodes exiting their 10th house. They will have mastered, they will have, shall we say, have found a confident footing in a career, confident footing. Let's put it that way. And then, the Mercury and so a truth can come out that can trigger, because of that Mercury, and Jupiter's in your 12th house. So this is very much past life relationship, because 12th house is past life relationship. And so then we get communication from a past life relationship. When Jupiter, you may have met them in 2012 when Jupiter was in your 12th house in retrograde, Mercury retrograde, contact and ready to align with a divine partner in a project or collaborative. Very auspicious though. Anything that this new moon, if you can make an initiation, a new beginning that comes from something that is true, it's been in your past, it's already been there, you've thought about it, but you just in your ego said, no, it's not going to work or whatever. This is what's bubbling back up. It's going to work.
All right. Well, we have I'm going to have to hold it back here so you can see it better. The rain lily. And the rain lily has everything to do with timing. It's about the right timing for things, and taking what seemingly a negative event and turning it around so that it benefits you and others. That feels very Sagittarian in nature, what we were talking about earlier. And it also it offers you an opportunity to grow and expand, Jupiter, beyond anything you've ever imagined, and the potential to flourish, which also feels very much connected to the sixth house energy of your wellness, your day-to-day life. So we have the rain lily. You can see that when I hold it way back here, you can see all the different dimensions. When I hold it closer, it gets washed out by the light, but
Is that my imagination or does it look like a lotus flower?
a little bit. It has a little of that, not as many petals and not that
Mhm.
like big openness. Maybe the lotus will come up in some for
Yeah,
some.
that triggers lotus flower to me, which means this is a result of a really these new beginnings are a result of some painful struggles, challenges, long-term
Mhm.
challenges. Now buds the fruit of the reward of the struggle.
Well, and that's pretty much what the message of this flower is.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
well, there you
spot
go.
on. Yeah. All
Fabulous.
right.
Okay,
Leo.
to do this. So we're going to go to Leo, Mars in your first house. Or watch out, you rambunctious. See, Mars is rules Aries, which is the ram, and rambunctious is the energy of Mars Leo. Very rambunctious.
Cute.
Yep. Okay, so what sign are we now in for Leo? Leo. Find
Leo. Let's
Leo
see.
card. Where are you? Where's my Leo card? Has I lost it? Where is the Leo? Virgo, Aries, Gemini, Pisces, Aquarius.
How can you lose Leo?
How can I lose Leo? It's got to be in here. Venus. Found it. Gonna go orange on this one because it's fiery.
There we go.
Okay, so Leo, you guys are rambunctious right now. You got Mars in your first house. You're ready to really go. You get on a cause. Leo Mercuries are really on a cause. They really like a lot of social media people that are on like I hear they have Leo Mars, and I'm like, wow, that's they have they want to raise awareness to things and they have social causes and it's a great thing. Both my sons have Mars and Leo. They're also very are talented and creative musicians usually have Mars Leo and dancers and this very creative energy. And again, so in your first house, you're motivated and driven and inspired. Again, so this is Sagittarius is in your fifth house. Wow, very nice, Leo. Wow. So again, talk about a collaborative in the house of fifth house of collaborative friends. So relationships, marriages, partnerships. Now, truths do come out because you've got Jupiter in your 11th house. So there is some sort of, for Leos, when Jupiter's in your 11th house, you meet a whole bunch of people that are aligning you up, like that help your work or word of mouth. It's social media kind of energies where you're really sort of collaborating or online with people or a tribe, right? Your tribe in the 11th house. And also the 11th house is like wins and gains. It's a lucky house. This is great for Leo because it's hitting in really good houses. You've got that fifth house. So it's kind of like lucky gains, a new, very auspicious project, probably involving social media or coming online, some kind of a involving an audience. This is the audience polarity, the stage is the fifth house, the audience is the 11th house, but even a lot of actors and actresses have planets in their 11th house, which means they have an audience, So Leo, and Leos are performers. I often see actresses and actors are charts. There's a lot of Leo, comedians have Leo, they're teachers. It's basically Leo is the energy of me and my kingdom, or me and the stage, me and my children. It's you and them in a group. And so Leos are really sort of stepping up to lead, and it's the fifth house, which is their house anyway, to take us forward in some sort of creative, entertaining, light, creative, social party fun. Woo! Fun. It's all about fun. Joy. Leos could get pregnant, have children. Always remember that fifth house from just make that a given. I did a reading the other day for somebody. I said, okay, you're going to be really, really fertile. If you don't want a baby, like literally build a wall between you and your spouse. But this is very much a pregnancy transit, zero doubt about it. But creative projects with like if you get pregnant, it's a metaphor. It's a creative project with your spouse that expands humanity, literally, like makes another human. So yeah, beautiful for Leo, exciting. Saturn in your eighth, direct finances or clearing up of debts or things that have been holding you back financially that have been triggering you, feeling unstable financially, are now starting to really stabilize and really stable by the time Saturn leaves that house, which is in summer. I know it goes out of Pisces in May, but I think it retrogrades back in. But anyways, so yeah, and the node's in your ninth, which is really like taking on a venture, a spiritual mission. Fired up Leos. Wow. Nice. Meeting friends, relationships too. This could be a partnership relationship. Girlfriend, boy, a girlfriend, boyfriend status moves into committed. I'm trying to think of anything else I don't want to miss. Well, you've had Pluto in your sixth house and it now transits into your seventh in the sign of it. You're going to be entering more business partnerships, collaboratives, and you've really healed with Pluto in your sixth, you would have healed bad habits that have been working against you, ways that you work against yourself, kind of energy, not just habits, but choices that are anxiety. I know my son is Leo rising, he has anxiety. So it's almost like the things that cause anxiety have been sort of evolved out of you, purified out of you. There you go.
Right. Well, this is one of my least favorite flowers to look at. I have to be perfectly honest. And when it popped out of the deck, I was like, oh man, but it's a beautiful flower in terms of the energy. So
I know. Yeah.
the black bat flower, I mean,
that one. It looks very Scorpio, doesn't it?
It's just one of those flowers where you're like, oh gosh, it's just like, ugh. However, this flower, it kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies and a little squeamish, but it's a flower that supports fearlessness. So it's awesome in that way. Fierce compassion, very much Leo energetic.
Mars is Leo in your first house. Yes. Giving you courage.
Courage, confidence, strength, again, very Leo. The power to propel yourself forward. And this also is very much connected to something you were talking about, Madeline, and it's that to advocate for yourself and for others. That piece of the puzzle is also connected to this flower. And it's just, maybe you can see that a little bit. There's a lot going on here. It is a little squeamish factor, but it's also really beautiful in terms of support for Leos going forward.
Yeah, what's interesting is, remember, it's collaborative with friends. So there's some, with that energy there with friends, it's sort of getting over the fear of that maybe, and the fear of like the danger of, because that's like kind of dangerous energy. Scorpio's kind of dangerous, So there's like getting over some sort of dangerous feel of not having total control around sixth house stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. All right.
Virgo.
Moving on to Virgo.
Okay. All righty, Virgo, you guys have let's see, buddy boom, Sagittarius is in your fourth house. So that's family, that's home, real estate, where you live. Property, real estate, new beginnings of perhaps moving, of like some aligning more with where you're supposed to be for your calling. So there's something. So let's look at the other planets going on. You've got Mercury, you've got Jupiter in your 10th house. So there's some sort of career shift, change, going back to something that you did in the past that may mean you have to shift your living situation and make new beginnings, but also this is, Sagittarius is the energy of the dream. And it's possible that something about a Virgo's living environment isn't right. They're going to change it or make the initial plans to change their living situations because of the calling in their career with Jupiter in their 10th house. So they're shifting their priorities to the career, even though it's in a fourth house with Jupiter there, to their true calling, and then adapting the rest of their life to that. So it's almost like a new beginning involving your living situation, So, or you get into union with somebody, a relationship, and you literally have a new family, the new beginnings of of a family that's super supportive of a co-collaborative goal of yours. Because Sagittarius is that goal you mentioned. And so Mercury there is communication from somebody from your past, shifting your living situation, shifting your career. Let's see what else. Aries is in your eighth house. Perhaps you take out a loan to move, to buy a property, sell and shift your property situation, because Mercury is really in a positive angle to your eighth house. So it would be, you would qualify. And this could perhaps be joint resources. You move in, relationship in other things in your chart. So then you pull your money together, you could afford a better house. What else can I look at here? Oh, Pluto leaving your fifth house. Big clearing of relationship, friends. Virgo is an interesting energy because it's the virgin, it's pure, and it's right in before Leo, which is the lust energy. Okay, that's part of the story of this tree of life. The lion card and the Leo energy is lust to Virgo, which is virgin. So people think, oh, you're a virgin, and then when you have sex, you become, when you break your virginity, now you're the lion, you're more lusty. Well, actually, the evolution of the soul goes from lust to Virgo to virgin. So we're getting this purification from the lust-based relationships. Now, when I say lust-based, it could just be that you're attracted to someone. So Virgos basically get in relationships with anybody that they get along with and they're attracted to. So it's almost like, no, but that's not your true person. Like, just because you're attracted to somebody. So that was that sort of, when I say lust, I'm not saying all Virgos are lusty. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is a more physically based situation until you meet your true love, and you don't even know it, maybe. And you think, well, I was so attracted to them. What's wrong with that? Well, now you know it's true love, what is your true hearted person. And yes, there's lots of attractive people on this planet. So so the Virgo is purifying in the relationship section of their house, where they're becoming less superficially shallow relationship centric. And so now they trust and are ready for the true divine purpose and mate and love and everything. They've purified. So they're going to step into the Virgo, into the love connection, and it's pure. They've purified in their connections with people. They no longer want the superficial experience, because it brings karmic experiences. It brings karmic backlash. That's what all these Capricorn in whatever house we're in. When we operate karmically in those houses, we get kabam. It's backlash. So, yeah. What else can I say? Saturn in your seventh house. This very relationship there. Saturn stationing direct. Again, restructuring something deep. It's in a spiritual side. It's in Pisces, which is exaltation Venus. So it's like waking up to spiritual connections and spiritual relationships that are soul, that you feel a past life connection to, that's connecting inside your soul. It doesn't have to be twin flame, but it can be just your true other abundant half, your true person. So I think that pretty much covers it for Virgo.
That was pretty good. So for Virgo, we have, let me bring it back here. We have the date palm, flower. Yeah, it is. It's like two people. This is freedom from extremes. Okay. So think about it as when we think about relationships, think about self-absorbed and then totally enmeshed in a relationship. Think about it from caring too much to being careless, not caring at all. It's that finding that balance between the two. So this is a kind of for Virgos, like, pay attention to what might be out of balance when it comes to your home life. Maybe it's a work-life balance that's out of whack. Maybe you're spending too much focus on home and not enough on work. Maybe you're focusing too much on maybe the decor of the home and not enough on the people in it, something like that. And this could also be, maybe you're focusing too much on, there needs to be more reflection on your ancestry, like where you've come from, the history of your lineage, and how that can relate to and impact your life currently. So, yeah, I feel like that's about it. I think it's freedom from extremes, shifting the paradigm of your life. And the date palm flower, I think, like Madeline, like you said, having these two flowers here and like finding that balance in your life, your home life is going to be key for Virgos.
Yeah, that looks so much like 11, like an 11. So it's like the Virgos have, this is codependency where you're leaning on your person, you're seeking outside of yourself for a person, and then it collapses. But then now what happens is you find God within, which is your true number one relationship with self and God, or whoever you call God, which looks like that.
Yeah,
And that's what that looks like.
I love it.
That's
That's so cool.
Aquarius, the 11th house, 11. Okay, Virgo.
All right, we're moving on to Libra now. Speaking of relationships.
Yeah, Venus ruled people here. You are Venus ruled people. And so basically you've got this happening in your third house, Mercury in your third house, short distance travel, driving, a lot of driving, but it's in retrograde. So it's like people communication from the past that you disagreed with, you had different beliefs. And then you're going to have Jupiter in your ninth house, which is really expanding your whole philosophies. You're probably reading a lot and learning about philosophy and higher spiritual, metaphysical truths, and exploring and possible travel as well, because the ninth house is travel. But we're getting a flip in your opinions about something, a real polarity flip there, because again, this is that Aries house with that third and that ninth house, same kind of thing. But with that Mercury, it's possible you're the one that communicates with Libra there, because you've got Mercury in your third house. So communication or information, that truths, I would say that Libra, who do tend to hold back from communication, because they don't like to upset the relationship apple cart. Perhaps this is a explosion of a communication of a truth, opening up the heart space, communicating. Jupiter in retrograde in your ninth, it's still, when Jupiter's in retrograde, we're not sure about what we believe yet, just so you know. But that's starting to reshape. It's reshaping, and there's something new you're going to understand about marriages and partnerships. Ninth house is later in life partnerships. Jupiter there, if you're a female Libra, your person there, ninth house, he's showing up. Somebody that you may already know you've gone into a separation from, or if you're already and you're with them and you're in a current relationship, some kind of truth comes out about the way they believe. And so you have a difference in opinions or different in beliefs. But again, this is a polarity where they're both mutual reception. So there's an openness to the other. There is it's not hostile. And it's like communication liberates this relationship. The barrier that was caused through some sort of belief, opinion, gets shattered. Because like I'm thinking of some Libras where I'm going to say they have some sort of negative opinion about love, or a negative opinion about what's possible, or a lack of faith about something, or a lack of belief in God in their relationships. Honestly, when I work with Libras, they really do have a rather pessimistic view of relationships, despite the fact that they're relationship people. When I do readings for Libras, they go, well, we'll see if that happens. We'll see. So it's like, in a way, they become wakened up to something. They wake up to some form of communication that is causing a blockage, or lack of communication, or lack of speaking their truth. Truth's coming out from Libras. I think they're the ones talking. Now, if you're not the one talking, Libra, someone's talking to you, you open up. It opens you up. But there is an opening energy for Libras and truths. Because Libras, listen, I'm not going to say they're liars, because the L word, liar, Libra. I'm not going to give them that, but they do like to communicate in a way that does not upset the apple cart. So if they skirt the truth a little bit so it doesn't, they'll do that. Well, now this is the truth. This is going to upset the apple cart, but it needs to be upset because it's almost inevitable. And then the truth comes out, the apple cart will resettle in this communication, and the truth comes out, and the right thing happens because of that. Because Jupiter, by the way, a Jupiter new moon means the right things happen. because Jupiter is the benefic.
All right. Well, Libras have, let's see if I can,
Talk about
silk
truth
cloth.
coming out. Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
this is a flower of confidence. It's time to shine. Look, shining out, shining bright, big. It's also a flower of self-expression. So you're talking about all of this
Yeah.
third house expression. This is about expressing themselves.
Wow. Yes.
And feeling self-assured in their expression, feeling comfortable within themselves so they can speak those truths. So silk floss for Librans, I feel like this is such a supportive flower for them and will be really helpful as they navigate this moon cycle.
Yeah. Very good. That really resonates with that.
Yeah.
And Mercury is a big, if Mercury's in your third house, boy, communication is fired up, like, and especially in Sagittarius. So, Libras may be very super chatty right now. Okay. Scorpio.
All right, Scorpio. Ooh, excited
Is this
about
this
this
way for
one.
Scorpio? I guess I have to
I'm,
do it this way because you can't read it the other way. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Second house, baby.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
Nice. Yes.
Excited about this.
Very good. Yes. Sagittarius new moon, Mercury there in your second house. So something communication around a project from the past or a way of making money or some kind of a new beginning involving a financial Jupiterian, very blessed. As a result of a struggle, I've always got to throw that underneath there. Something blooms in your money house, in your income, and we get this sort of because we have Mercury in retrograde in your second house. It may not necessarily be communication. You could go back to making something because that's your hands and but mostly it would be back to an old idea of how to make money, an old talent, or realizing that you have a talent that can really make you money. A way that you're going to feed yourself. The second house is how we feed ourselves. To have Scorpio in your second house, how you feed yourself, it means Mars rules your second house. Mars is in the 10th house in the sign of Leo. So there's some sort of inspired way now that wakes up to you that is a Jupiterian with all that stuff we talked about earlier, that you can make money, that progresses humanity and brings you a pretty strong, stable, long-term financial income because of the Saturn aspect. Now you may have a crisis where you end another job and it freaks you out. Like for instance, alimony stops or you get fired from a job. But remember, we're lining up to our true aligned, destined callings. And with the nodes ruled by Aries, let's see what house does that put it in for Scorpio. Oh, in your sixth house. So healing, service, high service. It's almost like this clarity for Scorpio on a way to make money that's of service. It's I know this is going to sound really unelaborate, but it's very practical, very functional, but it serves and it's spiritual at the same time. But something about it is very practical, which means
Okay.
it works. It literally helps people. It like literally, seriously, like you would be able to say it helps a person in a ditch get out of the ditch, like that kind of a thing. I mean, it is specific, practical, solution-based thing that Scorpios know how to do that enables them to make money. And it involves collaborative. Remember, goes without saying.
So because the nodes are in the sixth, would you say this has to do like this, whatever this might be for any Scorpios out
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
It could have to do with health, wellness, or someone's day-to-day work or practices or something like that.
Um,
Not necessarily. What are your thoughts?
yes, it absolutely is. But the main character would be that it's of high service and it's practical. So like, for instance, you could think that it's medicine, but maybe it's food. Maybe it's you've decided to grow a herb garden and sell herbs. Or let's say you could literally be doing something in you know, like just a practical skill. It's a skill. So it's like some sort of a skill you have that makes you money, because the second house is can be skills. So it could just be that you're really good at, let me think of something. Like, let's say you're an administrative, let's say you're secretarial, let's say you're that. Well, you start working for other people that are in healing, but you run their office and you're on part of the support team, and you really do the detailed, practical stuff that enables the project to get going. So, you know, the sixth house is just detailed, oriented, practical, day to day. It's of service, and healing and medicine is one of those options. But a lot of times that sixth house is just administrative stuff, like day to day, detailed, precise, needed tasks, you know.
And without that, like you said, the project can't really take off. It really can't get the momentum going, and that project getting the
Yeah.
momentum going benefits all. So yeah, I dig it. All right, so we have the jade succulent. Let me see if I pull it back
I can't believe that.
for.
I forget to say that the sixth house is busy, 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 busy. And look at that energy.
It's pretty
Sorry.
busy.
Yeah.
It's very busy.
Yeah.
So this flower says go for it. So if you've got a project or you've got some idea that you want to bring into reality, now is the time. This also supports new ideas or hidden talents, things that you didn't realize were there, to come out, to emerge, so that you can potentially be successful and bring that material abundance to you. It also is the expansion of chi energy, that energy of life force, and bringing that to whatever projects you do. And that connects with the sixth house with the nodes as well. So this flower feels very, or flowers, this whole cluster of them feels very much also like the multiplication of the expansion of abundance and prosperity for those as well. So the jade succulent for Scorpio, really tap into that, let's go get it, present, go for it energy.
Busy, busy energy for Scorpio. Yes.
Good stuff. All right, Sagittarius.
See it that way. Okay, Sagittarius, your first house, brand new beginnings. Um, with Jupiter is going to be in your seventh house. So communication coming in from a relationship, a past life or past relationship, returning, ready to step into something. Remember, Jupiter rules you. So, and Jupiter's in retrograde. So it's most likely something from the past coming back, that some sort of ego barrier blocked. And then, so let's take a look at all the other planets going on in for Sagittarius. So then you're going to have Uranus is in your sixth, and then Capricorn that is in your 11th. Oh, wait. Sorry, that's Pisces. Capricorn is in your second. So wow. So Sagittarians have been clearing fear-based energies around money and earning and how to feed themselves and how to invest their money. Or, you know, even if you're wealthy and you're not worried about money, you can be making investments, then you're worried that you've wasted a money, or that, you know, you worried about whether you did the right thing with the money and all of that stuff. Now, this is Jupiter. This is for the highest good. This is for expansion. So whatever new beginning you are inspired by, and this is in your second house. So it's going to be, Pluto was in your second house. So this is in your first house. So it's about you expanding who you are. You're going to have a new identity, a new persona comes out, like I'm Sagittarius sun. And now that I'm going forward with my classes, I kind of have a new identity in a way. It's like there's sort of a new identity coming out. That's where you're more confident about who you are and how to express who you are in these new collaborative. But for Sagittarians, there's a lot of Sagittarius is the energy of that calling of philosophy, higher wisdom, learning, travel, exploration, the wanderer. So it's like this is who you are as a person. So now this becomes who you are as a person is a big part of this new project. It's because of who you are as a person. This new beginning is weighted on who you are now as a person. Your personality is you're the team leader. The personality of who you are is coming out as this part of this story of this project or new thing happening. Now, with Jupiter in your seventh, this involves collaboratives. It involves somebody most likely from your past or a project from your past. And maybe we have to wait for Jupiter to go forward here. And maybe all of these new beginnings for everybody aren't really going to be that strongly forward yet until we get that Jupiter stationing direct. So these are all sort of preparatory initiations, the planting of the seed, and then lining up Jupiter. When Jupiter goes direct, we're going to see much more movement around this, income coming from it, the expansion or the philosophical advancement that this brings. But you're going to be very much the leaders of some sort of group project and of wisdom. There's going to be natural wisdom. Sagittarius sometimes they have natural wisdom. So the natural wisdom that the Sagittarius possesses is a big part of the information that will be progressing in this project. And it will be a financially abundant new beginning, because this is a financially new abundant beginning because of Pluto. You're leaving your second house. So you're operating on a way to earn money or to feed yourself in a way that's inspiring. And and there's a faith behind it. Like, you know what, somehow this is going to feed me. I'm just going to trust it and go with it because I'm being supported by, you can tell when you're on the right path, when things fall on your lap, doors open, somebody offers you something for free to do it there at their place. You can do it. Like, just weird stuff happens that's supporting you. So that's what their Sagittarians are going to see. Something suddenly feeling really weirdly supported. They're like, whoa, people are busy. There's backing here. This is gonna work. Okay. There you go.
So I just looked up because I couldn't remember. I know it was in 2025 when Jupiter goes direct. So February 4th,
Okay.
for anyone who was curious about that.
Yay. Woohoo.
Yeah. So February 4th, Jupiter goes direct. So if there is any delay, it's not that far off. February will be before we know it.
Well, just use me as an example. If I use my classes, that's probably about the time that I'll be ready to really launch my classes, most likely.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So prime example of that. Great. So we have oh gosh. All right. Let me bring it way back here. This is such a sweet little flower. This is the papaya flower. The papaya flower, the message is to balance the masculine and feminine qualities within us. It's very much connected to collaboration, something you've said many times during what you just shared for Sagittarius, collaboration versus competition. So really working together. And I feel like that's where that masculine, feminine also comes in, is finding that balance within yourself to be receptive, feminine, and then take action, masculine, not be in one or the other too much. And Sagittarians, I think, can be very much action oriented, going and doing and moving, fire. And really it's an invitation to balance the two. And this also does offer support for compatibility within relationships. And Jupiter, the ruling planet of Sagittarius, is in the seventh house. So very, very supportive for Sagittarians.
Yeah, and that does look like the personality of the Sagittarius, because it's like the same color as the background. So it's like the personality of the Sagittarius sort of looks like it's who you are kind of vibe in there, I guess.
Yeah. Like, this is just me. This is me.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
True,
Capricorn.
true you, because Mercury in retrograde is the truth. Sagittarians are going to be spilling out the truth, putting their foot in it, by the way. Watch out, Sagittarius.
Oh boy.
Terrible at that. I do it all the time. I work on it. All right, Capricorn. Wow. Well, you know, Capricorn, you guys are just brand new. Rebirth. If your bodies aren't like baby, you know, it's literally your baby again. Like literally your whole life begins again. Just be open, like a child, like open up to what's happening, because it's all new, all new. And you're
So I'm sorry, I just interrupted.
Yeah.
I have a Diane who was commenting earlier. I don't know if she's still on, but she is a Capricorn.
Oh, yeah.
She has had a complete transformation in her life, like on so many levels. And I feel like if you would ask her if she can even recognize herself now, if she would have seen herself 5 years ago, she's like,
totally
no
different
way.
person. Yep.
Yeah, completely different.
Yep.
Which is just, it's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, basically Capricorns have had are humbled and throw their hands in the airs and surrendered and go, okay, God, well, now isn't that great? Because the universe or God or the universe goes, great. All right, let's do this together. You know. So yeah, Capricorns, you're transformed, you're diamonds. When you go through these sort of transformations, you transform it, you go from coal to a diamond. That's what
Okay.
that's what it is. Through pressure and stressure. So ruling planets, Saturn in direct, things are moving better for Capricorn and Aquarius. Things feel like they're moving. Um, um, Progress forward in career. And if you're not feeling it quite yet, to hang in there. Pluto today went out of your sign. Things are unblocked, moving forward for you. Now with Pluto in that, I mean, sorry, with this new moon in your 12th house, this very much a new beginning involving travel, but also big ego purifying. Not being hard on Capricorn, but I mean the ego in the Capricorn is strong, and it's a good thing because that gives them determination and push through, right? Um, but if it's the new moon in your karma house, it's going to be, wow, I didn't think of that. I didn't, my mind, I'm surrendered because everything I thought I could do didn't work, or what I thought how I worked really hard to make results didn't seem to work. It's like, wow, I guess I see now this download, because there's your 12th house. It can come to you in a dream. It can come in a download. It can be like an this aha moment. That's what I'm going to do. Or you travel, you meet somebody that collaborates with you, that is your fated, destined, collaborative co-creator with you on projects, creative. Now, Jupiter is spirituality. So there's a humanitarian, more faith-based energy around this. It's almost like the Capricorn is going to say, well, I'll go for it. I already fell to the bottom of the mountain. I've already done that a few times and I lived. So what's the heck? What the heck? Let's give it a whack. I'll see. We'll see.
Where's Mercury for Capricorn? What
Well,
house is it
Mercury
in?
is going to be in their 12th house. So
Oh, the Mercury is also in their
from
12th. Okay.
karmic past life relationships coming in, contact from somebody from your past. Yeah, absolutely. Jupiter's in your 6th. So you're really stepping up to some sort of healing service, or, you know, writing, communicating. Mercury ruled in your Mercury house, detailed oriented. When Jupiter goes direct, you're going to have real clarity on what you want to do here or how you want to proceed. Could be, well, it's communication there, a lot of communication, but truths coming out um, um, from most likely some person from your past. If you're a woman, female, Jupiter's your man, your masculine, communication, a truth coming out from your masculine, hidden truth. Is 6th house can be an enemy house. So perhaps hidden enemy, perhaps something comes out that was set against you that's really upsetting you, but it helps you change your direction and makes you clarity. Whatever happens in these communication with that Mercury retrograde and stuff, information brings you clarity, especially when it's in the 12th house. I mean, that could literally be a spiritual download of guidance, but something brings you clarity as to how to step forward and how to, and then again, with Jupiter in your 6th house in retrograde, you're discovering how it is you're going to be of service. You're not completely sure. It's not clear yet, but you're going to build that clarity here. It's getting clearer and clearer. And this new moon brings some sort of download, some sort of an idea that intuitively, because remember, Capricorn are intuitive, that intuitively you go, yes, that's it. And then you pull or a tribe is coming in and bringing you an opportunity. And you go, that feels like alignment to me. So go
All
ahead.
right. Well, look at this bright beauty.
Oh,
We have the pomegranate flower for Capricorn. And okay, so the pomegranate flower, you know, 12th house to me is also kind of like circling up your wagons in a way, like you're taking all the lessons you've learned throughout this experience of the first through the 12th houses, and now you're integrating those experiences, which can be very exhausting and also a time to clear out those things that you no longer want to take with you into the next cycle with that Capricorn new moon that's coming up I think at the end of December. So this is a time for them to detox, to re-energize, to do some gentle energetic clearing, finding a sense of vitality, not as tired now through the cleansing of the physical body, the energetic body, the mental body. It's also very creative. Self-expression is a big piece of this. So that's why I was curious about where Mercury was, to tie that in a
Yeah.
little bit. And that's what, I mean, when you look at this, it's very much about being expressive and being able to express themselves, but from a place that's been purged of or cleared of all that stuff, that gunk that they've been through over these past few years, not holding on to any of that anymore, really letting all of that go, cleaning it out. So the pomegranate flower for Capricorn.
Well, you
Almost
know,
looks like it could be a pin or something on my
it
shirt.
just every time you pull a flower up, I'm reminded of what I forgot to say to Capricorn, which is
Yeah, what?
that orange energy, which is to really be motivated from your creative chakra, from that orange chakra, which is which is their fifth house, because they have Taurus over their fifth house, so they're going to be like liberated financially. This is actually very auspicious. It really reminds me to look at their fifth house. They have Capricorn. Let me get back to Capricorn. They have Taurus over their fifth house, so they're going to be liberated financially through their fifth house, creative, performing, flair. This is where the Capricorns, when they add flair and fire and creative, and they trust their feet, because the goat always lands on his feet. I watch for fun. I don't know why, but I
Sure.
watch goats climb mountains. They climb like steep dams, like the dams, they're almost 90
Uh-huh.
degrees, and the goats are climbing it up like this. Their bodies are completely aligned to the dam. And I'm just watching them going, wow, that's Capricorn.
That's hilarious, Madeline. You do that for fun. That's what Madeline does
I
for fun.
watch goats, and they sometimes jump from like one mountain to the other. Like if there's a cliff, they go boingy, 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 boingy. I mean, they're just wildly amazing. So the Capricorn trusts their feet. They know they're going to land on their feet. They can play, have fun.
That's that's great. Okay, so two things. I just wanted to look back to the chat to see if anyone had any comments. So Susanna, she was a Sagittarius sun.
Oh, goody.
She and so just to remind everyone with Sagittarius, that was the first house activation. So with that, she said, and it was also hold on, let me get back to my notes here. Collaboration, it had to do with competition. What was the other keynote? Maybe
Well, that they'll be the
remind me,
leaders. So
because she mentioned here that she hopes to get part of an inheritance that her sister tried to hide. She's part of
truth
her
coming out,
past.
communication.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she hired a lawyer for that too. So I feel like that's pretty positive energy, because also with Sagittarius, that has to do with, truth coming out and um, the legal system as well,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
So one of the things you can look at when you're looking at your chart to see how a lunation is going to impact you, you want to look at the house, the Cancer house and your Leo house, because the Cancer house is the moon ruled, and for Sagittarius, the moon rules your eighth house. So
Mm,
yes, very eighth house stuff, but it's emotional, because that eighth house is emotional. That moon there, it's emotional.
yeah.
Yes, emotional upsets on inheritance, money, stuff like that. Pluto is like secrets coming out about money. That's a Pluto house.
So,
Um,
and then Diane is still with us, and she said, so the job where she is now is very connected to her
oh,
passion,
oh,
her heart, her soul, something it's her calling. It really is. It's something that she's called here to do. And the color for the new place, for the logo of the place where she's working, is orange. And it's like this
wow.
card. So very in tune with her Capricornian nature. So I just wanted to share that so that
Did you
people
say
who are
She was Sagittarius or Capricorn?
Capricorn.
Oh, whoops! I went for Sagittarius on her. Cancer moon is in. She has Leo Mars in her eighth. So Mars is in her eighth, Moon is in her seventh, which,
Well, Snezana, who was talking about the inheritance,
oh, she was Sag.
she's
Okay.
Sagittarius, and
Gotcha.
then Diane, who is a Capricorn, who's very much in tune with, her this
Oh,
phase
her
of her life,
Asha.
this brand new beginning for her. I mean, everything
Yeah.
about her has shifted over the past few years. Like if
Well,
people see her, they don't even know it's her. If they've known her
yep,
5, 6 years ago, it's
whole new
like,
person.
yes,
Well,
yeah.
I forgot to tell Capricorn, good news, Pluto goes into your second house. It's a lighter energy, Pluto in Aquarius. So your finances definitely transform. All that work you've done is going to make you very rich. I really think
Oh,
that.
I know she's going to be happy to
Yep.
hear that. So fun. Okay.
Very, yep.
Marching along because I know this is a long one,
This is a
gang.
very prosperous new times. Very prosperous.
And there's obviously a lot of information that needs to be shared because Madeline and I are just
Yeah.
on a roll here. So
Yeah,
sorry
exactly.
for keeping those of you too long. And it's just, there's lots of stuff to share.
Yeah, my sidereal teacher that I listen to, he's sidereal, which means he uses the fixed stars, not the nakshatras, but the actual star that anything hits. And he says, he's hired by very, very wealthy presidents and very celeb or whatever, kings and people. And he quotes that things look good. And he's usually pretty pessimistic, actually. He errs on the side of pessimism. So I'm very optimistic when I hear him say that. Okay, Aquarius. Wow, you guys, I know a lot of Aquarians that are 0 degrees ascendant. Actually, I don't know a lot. I know two. I know two Aquarians with 0 degree ascendant. So I'm going to be very curious to know what happens to their lives. My astrology teacher, she also has Aquarius 0 degrees. So who the heck knows what's going to happen to Aquarians right now, because this energy is not like a karma clearing Pluto, what Capricorn was. So when Pluto goes into your first house, it's a transformation for sure, but more to become who you authentically truly are, stepping more into your power. When Pluto goes into your first house, you kind of have to stick up for yourself. People are going to challenge you. People are going to but you become very empowered. It's very sovereign. It's very much, you become a leader. You're part of the new earthers, by the way, because Saturn and Jupiter conjoined at 2020, 0 degrees Aquarius. So that, oh, by the way, I forgot about that. Like Saturn, Jupiter hit at the same degree point that Aquarius is at right now, which is all about the new era and our new callings, galvanizing people together, collectively joining together. What do they call it? What is this one person said, that spirit that I channel? He says, uh, positive, bringing people together to create positive change for the future, something like that. Like, anyway, that's what we're doing with the Aquarians. They're going to be the leaders of the new earth. Anyone with 0 degrees Aquarius, 0 to 3 or 27, 28, 29 Capricorn planets, new earthers, you're going to be pushed to be in your power. You may not like it, but sorry, you came in as an Aquarius in this world. You are here to bring us into the new earth. You're a light worker. Most of us are here that are in all of this, but the Aquarian is like, I'm going to have clarity about. They're going to have a specific path or a specific role in the transference to the new earth that they have to individually take on, that really excels our society to a spiritual level. They're going to excel our society to a heightened the higher dimensional, the 5D. Like, they're going to lead us to understanding how to work with the other dimensions. So the Aquarians are going to be maybe the last to kind of really wake up, but they are now with Pluto there. And they're maybe reluctant because this is a big position, but they're going to be landed. Aquarians at the early degree, they're going to be landed with important jobs. Not that anyone else isn't more important. That's not what I mean, but you chose, if you come in with 0 degrees Aquarius, you chose to come in and handle this big brick. You're ruled by Saturn. You can do it. You're hard workers. You're ready to take this on. You've got the strength for it. You're going to get the strength for it. Let me see what else. Leo where's Jupiter? Oh. I haven't even gotten to the new moon. I'm just talking to them about Pluto. So this new moon is in your 11th house. It's a sign of Aquarius. I mean, that just goes, oh my God. How aligned is that? So new tribe, new goals, new long a goal that you initiate that brings you perhaps instant abundance that alleviates your other job situation. Um, a collaborative project involving internet, social media. Your social media network could start taking off. You are more on scene, more in the public eye. That new moon in the 11th house. You're on a very lucky streak. By the way, Jupiter is a lucky streak. You know, like this is a lucky new moon. It starts a streak of luck where we haven't had any. So there's word of mouth. You could get a new client word of mouth on your Aquarian. I know an Aquarian, she's becoming a death doula. And that is super spiritual. Like, I mean, really the highest, where you're connecting with people when they pass through to the spiritual realm. I mean, hello. And that's like, you know, gonna sort of, you're gonna get word of mouth connections. It's gonna take off. And then that fourth house, friend from the communication, truths coming out, friends, tribes, truths coming out, shock you. Because we still have that Uranian energy causing surprises, you know, but there's this surprising communication, truths coming out amongst friends and tribes. You may end a tribe group, you may end friends because that truth comes out. You realize someone's not your friend. But a friendship turns into a relationship. Jupiter there. If you're a woman, Jupiter's your man. What else can I say? Saturn in your second house may have been blocking your income a bit and giving you. I have had some distress calls from a few Aquarians, but it's all going to go forward. It's all going to work out. You were being redirected to earn money the way that's going to be long-term sustenance for you. You're ruled by Saturn, so it's taking care of you. You're being protected by Saturn.
All right. Well, we have the fireweed for
Oh,
Aquarius. And this flower is a reminder, I think, for Aquarians during this moon cycle that there might be somebody in their tribe or their friends group that they need to forgive in order to clear something out of the way. So the message of the fireweed is to forgive someone now. It activates a sense of recovery. So recovering from a heartbreak of some kind or a disappointment, realizing and recognizing and feeling that love is all around them. And the love, say it again.
That's very romantic.
It is quite romantic. And, you know, feeling that sense that you have love that's surrounding you, and then you're going to share that. Like you were saying, Madeline, the Aquarians are here for this massive change to usher us into a whole new way of living and being and experiencing our world. And love is at the crux of it, at the center of all of that and beyond. So I love the fireweed.
Well, you know, yes, that, you know what, really what we're looking at, because let's say you're Aquarius, you're already in your divine partner, you're in your stable relationships, you're stepping into a creative project, a co-collaborative creative humanitarian project. Now with Jupiter in your fifth house, it could be script writing, it could be performing, it could be writing, it could be arts. It's a creative, fiery project type collaborative with friends and groups and tribe members involving your tribe. That is humanitarian, that progresses society, that progresses the consciousness, elevates mass consciousness. That's what Aquarians are here to do.
All right, well, they've got
Go
some fire
Aquarius!
power.
You're our heroes.
Okay, we're rounding out this very long cosmic chat around the Sagittarius new moon with Pisces.
Woohoo, Pisces, Saturn is direct in your house now. You guys are finally really feeling a lot better. Like you can, you know, breathe better, less stress about the experiences of the Saturn on your first house, which is a bit of a depressing energy. Like if you have Saturn on your ascendant or your moon, Usually if you have Saturn on your moon, you're in your Sadi Santi and things are tough. But if you have Saturn on your ascendant, you're really growing up and you're really realizing where you've been immature. And especially when it goes direct. And when I say immature, let's just say irresponsible or not picking up something or not crossing a T or dotting an I. Pisces are very ethereal in the clouds, and they're supposed to be. That's the point. But at the same time, they have got to have that Saturn structure. They can be unstructured. So they're learning to be structured, responsible, take on more responsibilities, but believe that they are the boss. They can be the boss. Saturn is the boss. So it's like Pisces are sort of stepping forward and becoming less of a subservient under thing, and then more up here, like, okay, I can do this. I can be an authority in my field, mastery of their gift. Pisces almost always are creative artists. I mean, I do so many reads on Pisces, and I wake them up to who they are, because most of them don't believe in themselves. That's part of the Piscean energy. They don't believe in their creative brilliance, genius, because they're the channels, the creative musicians and stuff. You can always see in their charts, they have all this water. They have Mars water, they have Saturn water, which is like they're literally like they're moved by the unseen realm. It's music. They hear it in their, or art, or whatever the vision. It's visionary. Jupiter ruling. Anybody ruled by Jupiter is a visioner, has visions, especially Pisces. So it's like they're being guided by this higher realm, this higher, and then they express it. That's the Virgo Pisces axis. They express it into the material. They bring it down like a musician. They hear the song in their. The more you go as a Pisces up there, the more you're going to hear the divinely intended piece of art that you were here to create. So you connect with it, and then you do it in the practical realm. Like if it's an instrument, you practice it, you detail it, you bring the detail. Let's say it's a flute, you hear it, you do all the little detail, the precision. It's Pisces. That's a Pisces Virgo axis. So Pisces are going to be like, I'm here to do this. I'm here to be a leader. I've got confidence. Now with that Jupiter retrograde in your first house, sorry, in your so the Sagittarius oh, wait, sorry. So the Sagittarius new moon is in your 10th house of career, and it's most likely on your MC. So what does that mean? Well, that's just great. That's just you stepping forward and becoming, the more we come into spiritual times, the less you see, we're leaving the A-type personality, right? Pisces are not necessary, unless they're Capricorn rising. Pisces are usually not your A-type personalities, but we're leaving the A personality type right now, right? That's what that Capricorn was purging out of us. So
But what if you're a Pisces rising and a Capricorn sun? There
well,
could be a little of that push
well,
and pull.
yes, you've got to get out right now in these energies. You're going to go more intuitive, more flowy, more creative, less Capricorn, more Pisces, less structure and hammer, and more creative, right? But really, Pisces have been reshaped to structure. So there's this sort of, I want to say, harmonic relationship between structure and the unseen. So Pisces have learned how to do that with this Saturn in their first house. So they're becoming more clear of the structures that they need to place in their life to take their more success, because a lot of these musicians that have water, Saturn, that's why we're getting a whole new with Pisces and Saturn, or a whole generation. There's a Pisces return for a lot of people who had their Pisces and Saturn. So you're going to see a whole new art movement. You're going to see a whole new music movement. It's much more Neptunian. It's much more fifth dimensional. It's less structured, but they have to have some structure. Saturn says you've got to have some, or it won't ground. It won't function. So there's this sort of minimal music, and you're going to listen to some of the music that's coming out there. It's really different, a whole new wave. Yep. And it's exciting. So you
Very
Pisces,
spiritually oriented,
yes,
that like etheric kind of sounds.
Neptunian,
Yeah.
foggy, yeah. So like also what's going to really take off our festivals, like music festivals where the music is, people are going to take ayahuasca and like go to music. It's very fifth dimension. It's like this music is very 5D again with Aquarius, where we're all experiencing the higher dimensions. We see angels, we see people, we're escaping reality and meshing with the higher realm, because then it raises our dimension so that when we come back into the 3D, we're like exalted, we're raised. So these festivals are going to be really these sort of new spiritual gatherings, because it literally connects you. When you take ayahuasca, like when I listen to some of these, like Bill W., I was listening to a movie about him and he took LSD, I think, and he discovered spirituality. Like these, I'm not telling everyone to take drugs or whatever, but some of these festivals are about that, where you literally escape the reality field and you go into the higher dimensional plane, and then you see the divine purpose of all of this. You see a grid, you see, I've never done it, but I've heard my son's done. He's a Pisces musician doing this exact thing, and doing these festivals out in the country, 12th house, out in the wilderness, bringing people together, escaping reality and connecting with the angels and the true spirit. You become very, very spiritual in these experiences.
Well, that's the thing too, is what's reality? What is,
Yeah.
is this reality or is that reality? Or is
That is
there
that.
some sort of combination of the two? And, one thing too, when, from the experience that I've had working with different shamans, they've talked about whenever you talk about plant medicines, it's
Mm-hmm.
about working with the medicine because it's a consciousness that you're working with. It's not, yes, you drink an ayahuasca tea or you drink a chocolate that has some or eat some chocolate that has ayahuasca in it, but you are working with the the consciousness of the plant. And
Yes.
so it's like, so when people talk about taking something or doing, like I'm doing mushrooms or I'm what, it's like the languaging is a bit off
Yeah.
because you are working with that plant. You are collaborating with that plant to have
Yeah.
that experience. And I feel like that's something I would love for more people to consider, especially when, like you were talking about these festivals, Madeline. I love that
Yeah.
idea of that. But having everyone there in that mindset of being in that consciousness field of the plant,
Yes.
of that journey, of that experience, and it not just being about people getting wasted or having some, you know,
Yeah.
which is, not no judgment around anyone's motivation, but if you're doing going to a festival and you're working with a plant and you're doing this as a form of expanding your consciousness, that's a very different vibe than going
Just
just
pure
to,
escapism, like just don't want
yeah,
to deal with your life and just escaping.
right.
That's not healthy. But to explore the unseen realm is healthy, because you see the truth and you see that we are really angelic beings,
Yeah.
because I believe we're an angelic realm. So I want to tell you something really interesting, because we're at the end here, so I'll make it quick. But Hinduism, which is a religion that believes, this is very the age of Aquarius, because Aquarius in tarot is in the world card, or is it the Wheel of Fortune? You see the four fixed signs. The eagle is Scorpio, the bull is obviously Taurus, Aquarius is the angel, and
Mm.
um, what did I leave out? Leo is the lion, right? So you'll see this in cathedrals in Europe, early Christian cathedrals. You'll see the four fixed signs. You'll see these four things. Now, the angel represents Aquarius, which represents the 5D, which represents the people that are 5D representatives, which in Christianity, they call them saints. In Hindu, they call them Vishnus and Ganeshas and all these other
Mhm.
things. In all the different, so what that means, so in Hindi, they have so many deities, right? They have so many angels. So what they discovered, the Hindis, through ayahuasca, because what happened is, the reason that the Hindi don't kill the cow is because in the cow poop grows the mushrooms, the
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
yep.
Yes.
So in the cow poop, mushrooms grow. So they take the mushrooms and they have these psychosyllabic mushrooms, or whatever you call them.
That's psilocybin. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And then they saw all these deities, because that's what happens when you go into the 5D. You say, oh my God, there's all these people there. There's like a whole bunch of angels up there. And that's actually the age of Aquarius. We're working with the angels. We're going to work with the 5D, because that's why the Hindus, they do all these rituals all the time, because what they're doing is, the angels cannot help us without our request. They
Right.
won't impose upon us. So the Hindus realized that all their abundance was dependent on their relationship with the angels. So they would bless the cow. They put pujas on the cow, because I lived in Nepal, so I know about this. They bless the trees. So what they're doing that day, they say, okay, angels up there, can you make our trees really bushy and big? So when you invite the angels in to bless something in your life, like my garden, I'm growing a garden. So you're going to do puja and you're going to work with the angels. And you say, okay, I invite you in, angels, to bless my fees. And then they put like all these like beautiful decorations and things around it as a
Mm.
raise the vibrations.
Yeah.
So it's like they really know how to work with the higher dimensions, which is what's going to happen in the age of Aquarius.
I love that the visual that you gave on that, Madeline. It's super fun and um very it feels very bright and hopeful
Yeah.
and exciting. All right, so let's finish up here with the Pisces flower. This is the banana blossom, and the banana blossom dissolves fear. I love that just in general, but it specifically dissolves fear around not being able to do something that you wanted to do. So it's about bringing projects to fruition with ease. Um, that's very bodes very well for a 10th
Yes.
house placement for this new moon, to be able to bring something that you've been wanting to craft and create
Yes.
into reality. And it also activates having a spacious mind. So that also to me feels very positive for having ideas around different projects and different things that you'd like to bring into reality. So, and we
I like
started,
that card a lot because I'm a Pisces moon, so it's hitting my 10th house from my moon, and that would be like a career you really want. Like that's a desire. That red is like what you truly desire, which
and
is
there's this,
ruled by
it's
Jupiter
this,
too. So
and that's, yeah. And then this is also kind of like the potential, and this is the growth. This is what happens. Like this was the idea that then blossoms. And when we started this with this red flower, so it's, to me, this almost feels like full circle. Like all of us, this was the Aries and this is the Pisces. We're coming all the way around. We're moving around that zodiac wheel, and we're experiencing all of these, and now we're almost full circle with that Sagittarian fire energy.
yeah,
And one heck of a ride that we've been
that's
on
great.
for
That's great
the
because
past.
Pisces are ruled by Jupiter. So again, for Pisces, when that Jupiter stations direct, you're going to see.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
All right. Well, thank you for anyone who, let me just make sure that we have addressed everyone in the chat that's still here. Um, let's see. So Anne, Iva, hello ladies. Can we ask psychic questions? If you
sure.
have a question that you can ask within the
Yeah,
next few seconds, then lay it on us. We're
we'll
more
give
than happy
our.
to answer if you're still here.
I got my tarot deck. She's got her oracle cards. Throw us a question.
Yeah, just go
If
ahead and
you're
ask
there.
if you're still here. We'll hang out for another few seconds and just share some information. So in the description below, whether you're on my channel or Madeline's, there's some information. If you're interested in any of the flowers that I talked about, take a screenshot of them, incorporate them into your meditations, ask for their support. You can get some, if they're commonplace flowers, you can get them and put them in your space. You can order products like these mists or serums or elixirs, and there's a discount code below if you use that and my affiliate link there. So I do get a little love from Lotus Way now. I didn't. This is a new thing, but I do now, which is awesome because I so love these products. And I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning more about them, I interviewed the founder of Lotus Way and then her best friend, who's also in business with her now, the founder of Way of Chocolate, where she incorporates the flower elixirs into vegan dark chocolate, which is really delicious. I will tell you, slightly addicted. All right. Well, I don't know if Anne Iva is here, so we're gonna wrap up because it's been
2 hours.
uh,
It's been a long time. This is one of our
a,
long ones.
definitely. So lots of fiery energy with this Leo sun here and a Sag sun with Madeline. We will
Yep.
see you in a couple weeks with
Sagittarius or the Capricorn full moon, or is it Capricorn
it's
full?
the um it's the Gemini the Gemini full moon, and then the Capricorn new moon.
Gemini full moon? Are you
Mhm.
sure I don't think we can have a Gemini full moon until June.
Gemini full moon, not new moon.
Gemini full moon. Okay. Sun in Sagittarius, moon in Gemini. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. You're right.
Yeah. Your brain is
I was
like
suddenly thinking the full
smoking.
moon was together, and you're right. That's right. Full moon.
Yeah. It's been a long few hours. Your
It's
brain
been
has been
a
on
long
overdrive.
time.
So yeah.
All
All right.
right.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you,
everybody. Give
everyone.
us
Thank you,
likes.
Madeline.
Likes.
Yes. Likes, subscribes, all the good stuff. We would really appreciate it. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye,
Adios.
everybody.
Guess I should stop my recording too.